everybody. Welcome back to Business Growth Made Simple, the podcast for contractors who want more free time, more profits, and a business that doesn't suck the life out of them. I'm Steve, your host, and today we're going to talk about something it's eating way too many business owners alive, and it's burnout. Have you ever sat down at the end of a 12-hour day and thought, wow, is this even worth it? You're not alone. I've been there. I know other contractors that have been there. Have you ever totally felt like completely fried? You started to resent the work that you once loved. Maybe you snapped at your spouse or kids because you're really feeling drained. Or how about thinking about chucking it all away and applying at the local hardware store so you could be the professional at the store? If you felt any of that, this episode is for you. And I want to say right off the top, you're not lazy, you're not broken, and you're not weak. Most likely you're burned out. And today, we're going to work on fixing that. So what is burnout? Let's put it in some very basic terms. Burnout is like driving your truck extremely hot. You see that needle moving up, but you keep driving it. You keep driving it. The engine light comes on. You keep driving it. And eventually, it just shuts down. How many of you have seen the videos of the big rigs running away? The diesel's just running away. They can't shut it down. No matter what they do, that truck just goes and goes and goes. And you see black smoke coming out the stacks. It's billowing. It looks like a locomotive going down the road. And if there's no wind, it kind of just settles down on the people around them. And then you start to see flames shooting from the stack. And everybody's just walking away. Nobody's doing anything. Everybody's just waiting for this thing. And the engine gets faster and faster and faster. And you can kind of hear when it's about to seize up. And then, bam, it just shuts down. That is kind of what burnout is like. It just creeps up on you sometimes, and it gets worse and worse and worse. And until we can figure out what it is and stop it, it's just going to keep getting worse. You feel like maybe you're working harder, but getting less done. Or maybe you wake up tired. How many of us have gone to bed exhausted and you wake up in the morning and you're just as tired as when you went to bed? Maybe you're not getting excited about new jobs anymore. You find yourself losing patience with your crew, your customers, yourself. And worse yet, you start wondering, am I even really good at this anymore? Does any of that sound familiar? Like I said, burnout can sneak up on anyone. According to Harvard Business Review, 1 in 4 entrepreneurs say they feel at least moderately burned out. Now, burnout doesn't just mess with your head. It damages your business, your health, and your relationships. Like I said, it's kind of like driving with no or little oil in the engine. You go and go and go until you don't. And burnout for an entrepreneur is different than an employee burnout, because you feel like you've got everything on top of you. You've got to make payroll. You got to pay taxes. You're trying to make a profit. You're paying your own way in the world. You're not relying on somebody else to give you a check at all. It can get bad. But let's look at the 3 main areas. Your business. You start to miss the details. Your quotes go wrong. Jobs maybe get underbid. Customers sense your stress and add to it. Somehow customers know when we're stressed, right? They know when we need to make a sale. They know when we're stressed. And they can sense that which makes them hesitant to trust you, which makes it harder for you to make a sale. Or maybe you start avoiding tasks that will grow your business, like marketing or hiring. Or maybe you feel like you can't outsource that because you can't trust them, because you're stressed, and now money's an issue too. Maybe you become reactive, not strategic. You're just putting fires out all day. You're not being proactive, saying, hey, we need to do this, this, and this. You're just kind of letting life happen to you at this point. Does any of this sound familiar? It affects your head and your health. Mental fog starts setting in. Maybe you sit there and stare at your phone, wondering what to do. You just can't focus. Maybe you start scrolling through videos, shorts, YouTube shorts, reels on Instagram and Facebook. Maybe you get sick more often. You just don't feel good. You sleep worse, you stress more, you question your decisions. Am I really worth it? Maybe you sit there and start gaining weight like I did. I didn't realize it, but most of the time I owned my own business, I just started gaining and gaining and gaining and gaining and gaining. How about your family? You're bringing work home all too often. You try to leave it at the office, you try to leave it on the job site, but it still somehow comes home. Your kids aren't getting your best. They get what's left over. Your spouse starts feeling like a coworker, not a partner or a teammate. Burnout isn't just a work thing, especially as an entrepreneur. It's a life thing. As an entrepreneur, your business should be supporting your life, not your life supporting your business. And when you start getting burned out, neither is happening. You're kind of in a la-la land. So what are some of the hidden causes? Well, one is busy work. It's not that you're not working hard. It's not that you're not productive at work. It's just that you're doing busy work. Filing last year's receipts again, just in case. Or how about rewriting a quote 6, 7, 8 times for a customer who deep down will probably never book? Checking your email or text every couple minutes. Taking every call yourself, even when you've seen this number before and they have you come out and they never buy from you. These things might feel like work, but they don't actually grow your business. You're burning your extra energy on stuff that doesn't bring profit in, and eventually you crash. This is why burnout can hit even when business is, quote, booming. I had a buddy of mine, Mike, who was a remodeler in Indiana. Booked solid 3 months straight, but he wasn't getting home till 8 o'clock at night. He was eating junk food, sitting on the couch, staring at the wall. He just wasn't happy. He was exhausted, and he was broke. He realized he was busy, but he wasn't profitable. He was bending over backwards for every customer, even the not good ones. Carla, a landscaping pro I coached in Texas, she wore all the hats. She quoted everything. She scheduled everything. She hauled the mulch, called the customers, fixing the trailer. She never stopped. Her phone just gave her extra anxiety every time it rang. She was ready to throw that thing in the river. She was killing it, but she was also killing herself in the process. She wound up in a hospital visit for dehydration. That is what woke her up. These stories are real. I've heard hundreds of them. Hopefully you're not this bad. Hopefully you're catching this before things get bad enough to land you in the hospital, even if it is quote, just dehydration. What we need to do is we need to work smarter, not longer. The first thing we need to do is ditch the hustled all day lie. You don't have to work 14, 18 hours a day to be successful. What we need to do is we need to start using the 80-20 rule. 80% of your results come from 20% of your actions. In other words, you need to figure out what really brings in the revenue and do more of that. Hey, maybe quoting 3 high-quality jobs a week brings in 80% of your profit. Make those a priority. If most problems come from low-dollar clients, raise your prices. Filter better. If 80% of stress comes from the admin stuff, get help. If that's not you, hire somebody, outsource it. Focus on what matters. Automate if you can. Delegate if you can. Or eliminate if you can. Delegate what you hate. Wish I came up with that line. Hey, nobody can do it like you can, right? But if you're the only one who can do something, your business is truly in trouble. You have a job just over broke. You have to delegate. That might mean hire a virtual assistant for scheduling or email. You can automate the scheduling. A lot of times you can use a third-party scheduler like Calendly, and you set your calendar up, especially if you're a one-man show. You set your calendar up for certain times that you'll do your proposals, your quoting. Certain times you'll go out and block out jobs. Maybe you'll do jobs from 8 to 3 so they can schedule an 8 o'clock job. Or if it's a half-day job, schedule it in between. You block it out, and then you can get it done and then go out and do a quote before the end of the day. Maybe get a bookkeeper. Most of us contractors aren't great at bookkeeping. Hire somebody to do that part-time. They can come in while you're doing estimates. They can come in for an hour or two a month, a week, depending on how busy you are, maybe every other week. Maybe they could do it online for you. If you've got a foreman, give them more responsibility. Maybe train them to do estimates if that's something you're really not good at. Steve Jobs had a system. Every task had a DRI, a directly responsible individual. That way, nothing slipped through, and you can get your business to do this too. Even if it's just you and a helper. You can delegate some tasks to the helper. Audit your circle. Burnout spreads. It's like bad energy on a job site. Take a look around. Ask yourself, is this team positive or is it always complaining? Do your friends encourage you or drain you? Do you have other people who get it? Other contractors? Are you talking with other mentors? Are you part of a group that you can talk about this stuff? Help each other with what's going on? Are you surrounding yourself with people you build up and who build you up and not tear you down? If you don't have that kind of support, get plugged into a group, a coaching group, a community. That's one reason why we built the Business Growth Made Simple. It's a place where contractors can help each other get better. How about cutting out the maybe mentality? Cut out that indecision. It's like being a fence sitter. Can't decide which side of the fence you want to be on, so you don't do anything. Start making crystal clear, quick decisions. I don't know who's heard of Grant Cardone, but he says decide right away. Yes or no. There are no maybes. Many years ago, I took courses on trying to clean the emails out of your inbox or the mail, right? And they tell you once the mail comes in, you pick it up. The only place it goes is in the keep and deal with it or trash. Or in some cases, if you've delegated that, you hand it to somebody else to do the work, but get it off of your desk. It's the same thing with emails. When you open an email, you need to decide this, or this. Am I keeping this email? Do I need it? Am I delegating this email, or is it going in the trash? Maybe somebody wants a quote, but they keep ghosting you. No, I'm good. I could use the work, but I don't need the headaches. So, good luck. Supplier wants you to switch, but can't beat your price or the service. I'm good. Service is more important to me than the price. But there is a point where price becomes a thing. Hey, maybe the job feels sketchy from the start. No, I'm good. A lot of us get that sense when we're talking to customers. I just got a call last week for a customer, 2 weeks ago actually, for a customer who had no air conditioning on their second floor. And it came through a buddy of mine who's a handyman. And since I do HVAC, I still do that on the side occasionally, especially when it's 100 degrees out. So I called the customer up and we were chatting. I said, I really want to come out and take care of your system, but where is the indoor unit? And she's like, it's up in the attic. I'm like, can you wait until Thursday when this 100 degrees is supposed to break? She's like, sure, no problem. We'll just stay downstairs. That's a customer you want. They're happy to allow you to be safer so you're not in the attic, which I'm thankful because it was all trusses and that was a nightmare to get to the unit. But hey, we were able to take care of it and she's happy. Her husband's happy. And I didn't have to go up in a 150 degree attic. So that makes me happy. They're the kind of customers you want, right? Maybes are only wasting your time. Yes or no moves you forward in one direction or another. How about rest? How many of us truly get rest? A lot of times we're out there, we're working 12, 14 hours a day, Monday through Saturday. Sunday comes around, and now we have to do all the housework, right? You got to mow the lawn, you got to weed the garden, fix the things that are going wrong around the house. You're not getting any rest. Now, I'm not necessarily taking a 3-week spa vacation every month, but I am saying at least take one day off. I mean, truly off. Get 15 minutes of quiet time in your truck before a job. Maybe go fishing with your kid. Plan a vacation, even if it's just a weekend. Take one full day off a week. Maybe take a 4-week vacation. How would you like to take a month off? How would that feel to be able to take a month off? Whether it's go to the beach, rent a house for the month, whether it's go to a different state, go up the mountains, go over Europe, go on a couple of different short-term vacation type things, maybe a week here, week here, week here, week here. 4 weeks. Take the whole month off. I think that would recharge your batteries pretty good. Tired owners are making tired decisions. Rested owners pretty much win long term. So burnout is real. And it messes with your head. We just talked about that. Messes with your money, your health, and your home. But it is beatable. Let's focus on the work that actually makes money. Delegate what drains you. Pick your circle wisely. Make quick, confident decisions, no more maybes, and take a real break. Maybe you need to, I know people who are taking afternoons off. It might be every Wednesday I take half the day and I do something with one of my kids. Or every Friday I take half a day. Whatever it is, just an extra time to rest so you're not getting burned out. I mean, these are what are keeping good contractors in the game for decades. I used to have a contractor owner when I was working for him, and he used to take time off in April, and he took time off in October. And it was 2 weeks in October and 2 weeks in April. And every October, he went hunting. 2 weeks, up the cabin, started off with him and a couple buddies. And then right before I left, it was him and his boys. He had 2 boys. They would just go up for 2 weeks. He'd take them out of school for 2 weeks. Get all their homework. They would work on it while they were up there, but he would take them. And then in April, he went fishing. He took 2 weeks off to go fishing all over the country. Eventually, he started doing it around the world. And I asked him why. And he said, because if I don't, I'll go crazy. Things just start piling up and it's not good. I'd rather come home knowing I've got work to do than not being able to do the work while I'm here. If this is hitting home with you and you're ready to stop the surviving and start thriving, let's talk. I mean, book a Business Made Simple discovery call. We'll have a conversation. It's free. It's real. See if I can give you other ideas to help you. It may be the most important 30 minutes that week that you've had in a long time. And we'll figure out where the burnout is creeping in and give you a plan to fix it for good. So, hey guys, thanks for hanging with me today. You're not weak. You're not alone. You're a contractor who's been running too hot for too long. Let's work on building the business and life you deserve that you don't need a break from because you've already got them planned in there. Hey, we'll catch you next time with Business Growth Made Simple. Looking forward to it.